let's talk about Liverpool versus Preston from this past Sunday. Now, this will not necessarily be an in-depth review of the tactics and player reviews or anything like that, because I don't think this type of match and the emotions behind it warrant such a review. But it's also like the first game with very limited training, with a lot of the players missing. But I just wanted to talk about a few things that we might have learned from seeing Liverpool come out and play some football of any sort. Now, the first thing that we need to speak about is to give props to Preston for the type of honor that they showed for Diogo Jota and the whole Liverpool community by arranging for the songs at the beginning of the game, the tributes on the screens, by making sure that everybody was going to receive a free matchday program that was dedicated to Diogo Jota and Andre, his brother. That was very class from Preston, and I think also from Liverpool's side, with the whole Diogo Jota situation, we need to give props to the club, the hierarchy, everyone really involved for what I believe has been a fan-led approach to what they've been doing. Now, it is not very common that football clubs do what the fans would appreciate, especially with such a delicate thing as a player passing on, where they need to be respectful to the family, they need to be respectful to the fans, they need to be respectful to the teammates who were with Diogo. So we need to give props to whoever has been involved in all the decisions that they've been making around this, and I think it's been handled with so much class that it shows that there's humanity in some decision making at our club, and that just gives us more pride to stand behind this club, stand behind this institution, and know that when push comes to shove, the right decisions on things that matter beyond football will be made, and people's lives and people's emotions and feelings will be respected and honored. So thank you to Preston, thank you to the Liverpool hierarchy and the whole team and the staff for diligently dealing with this matter, and shout out to the players, man. This was a very difficult thing for them, and we saw in the tributes some players were very emotional. In fact, all of them were very emotional. Some of them were brought to tears. We saw at the end Andrew Robertson could not take the tribute to Diogo, where the fans, the away fans, were singing his song, and everyone, the whole staff, and the whole team were just standing there, and Robertson just couldn't take it anymore and just left that scene. And you can tell it's a difficult time for the players, especially when they have to get onto the pitch and play football when one of their own can no longer do that with them. And I think they handled it with as much energy that you can expect them to. With I think they handled it well, is what I'm trying to say. I can't even find the words for that. But I think the whole tributes was amazing, and from the fans, it was amazing to hear the tributes, watching it on TV, because I think from the 20th minute to the 28th minute, the tributes, the song started at the 20th minute, the Diogo Jota song, and it was sang throughout till the 28th minute. And not only from the Liverpool away fans, but throughout the stadium. It was almost starting at this point, ending there, starting at another section, and it was amazing. And to hear reports from other fans and other content creators who were in the field, it was just an amazing atmosphere, even for us who could only watch it on screens. And other than that, the football itself didn't really tell us too much about tactics or anything like that. We saw, as it is the style with the first game of pre-season, we saw two complete sets of teams for the first half and the second half. And I think in the first half, I was very impressed by Joe Gomez. playing there without Van Dijk. And another performance that I was really impressed by was from Rio, with a very difficult surname. But I think he's playing very well. I saw him for one game, I think last season, and he was very raw, but not very tailored to the men's game, as we usually say, in terms of decision making. You could tell that he really wanted to shine a lot and impress a lot with his play in that game. But I think in this game, while he still had that desire to showcase his skill set, he also showcased amazing decision making abilities, because I think the four times that we saw him dribbling from the left wing, cutting in. We saw him shoot when it was appropriate for him to shoot. We saw him make a pass when it was appropriate for him to make a pass. I think overall we just saw better decision making from him, and also the type of respect that the other players were giving him. We saw in an instant where there was a ball where either Zaboslai could have taken the shot, or Rio could have taken the shot when Rio was cutting in, dribbling in, and Zaboslai sort of got out of the way in respect to this little kid, to say, have a shot, I trust you, to do the right thing. So I think that was a very good performance in the first half from him. I think an even more impressive performance for me was that of Trey Nyoni, who is one of my favorite academy players. I think my favorite academy player right now. At times, it was difficult to distinguish him from Gravenberch. And don't get me wrong, Gravenberch was still a beast. I think Gravenberch did not look like he was in pre-season, or maybe it's the type of opposition that we were playing against. But Gravenberch had all the flair, had all the flavor that we know Gravenberch for. And no matter how many times Gravenberch does that 10 into space that he does, that fools the oncoming midfield marker, you can't get used to it, man. You still appreciate it every time that he does it. And it was good to see Gravenberch in terms of his distribution. And I think one aspect of his game that I didn't really notice last season, even though he was still doing it. Looking back at some clips from the previous season, I saw that Gravenberch has that diagonal switch in him, and I was attentively looking, analyzing that in this game, and I saw he did it, I think, 3 times, where he switched the ball from midfield directly into the left wing position. I think twice it went to Rio. I think the other time it went to I can't remember if it was in the first half or the second half, but basically he has that diagonal switch in his locker. So it's good to see that we still have that from Gravenberch, and we have that other one, that other famous one from Virgil van Dijk, if we're gonna need them in a game. And in the second half, I think overall the players were impressive. I was impressed with the physicality, or the fitness level of Cody Gakpo, with his new blonde hair there. I think he was playing well. He was doing what we expect from Cody Gakpo, and I think it's going to be an amazing season for him this season. He's one of the players that I'm excited to see more in this season. But I was maybe more emotionally attached to Darwin Núñez, as usually a Darwin Núñez performance will get you to be. But I was very impressed with the composure that he had for his goal, and like the agility to pounce on that mistake and make sure that he went around the keeper, took his time, and scored. And the tributes from both of them towards Diogo Jota were amazing, and for Darwin Núñez in particular, because the video that a lot of people are using for that Diogo Jota celebration, in that particular one, you have Darwin Núñez sort of behind him, sort of cuffing his ears there and celebrating with him. So for us to see Darwin Núñez give that tribute, I think, is even more special than the tributes we've seen throughout, since the passing of Diogo. But it was also great to see the tribute from Cody Gakpo. In the first half, the goal was from Connor Bradley from, I think, from a shot from Zabuslai that ended up falling onto, it ended up falling onto Connor Bradley. Took a bit of a deflection, but a goal is a goal. So I think overall it was a decent game of football to watch, with all the emotion that was attached to the events other than the football. I think it was handled very well, and as our first outing since the passing of Diogo, I think it was a good first step, and I can't wait to see us go on. Now, I think the tributes are gonna continue in different games throughout, even I think early into the season. Throughout, the tributes to Diogo might continue. Number one, because he's forever our number 20, but number two, I think, because different friends are attending different games, and even at Anfield, different fans get to attend in different games, and everyone just wants to and deserves the opportunity to pay their own tribute towards Diogo. And it's gonna be a good thing to see, but it's gonna be, I think, a roller coaster of emotions throughout those tributes throughout the season, to a point where we can do those tributes in celebration instead of paying for his passing. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video.